So for parallel and perpendicular scopes, we are looking at these two situations. If I can get this string out of the way. Okay, so parallel lines will have equal slopes. So notice that both of these have the same slope of 3. Okay, if lines are parallel, they'll have the same slope, but they'll have a different y-intercept. Okay, if slopes are perpendicular, then their slopes are negative reciprocals. So in this example, I've got a slope of -2, a slope of +1/2. So when I look at these, that -2 is the same thing as -2/1. If I flip it and multiply it by -1, I get a +1/2. Okay, if I had a slope of 2/3, the slope perpendicular to it would be equal to -3/2. Okay? So, if we look at this, a slope intercept form of the equation through -3, and parallel to -2/3 x plus 1. Okay, the easiest way to do that would be to start out with point slope form, right? So I'm going to say if it's the parallel, y equals -2/3 of x plus b. Okay? I want to find the y-intercept, so I'm going to plug in the point -3 for y and -3 for x. So -3 equals -2/3 times -3 plus b. Okay, my next step is to try to simplify. So -3 equals, okay, I'm going to put the -3/1. -2 times -3 would be +6. +3 times 1 would be 3 plus b. 6 divided by 3 is 2, so -3 equals 2 plus b. And if I add 2, or subtract 2 from both sides, subtract, then b equals -5. So my new equation for a slope parallel to -2/3 will be -2/3 x minus the b, which is 5. And that's our final answer. Okay, example B. We want a slope parallel to y equals x plus 1. What is our slope for that, Taylor? If they don't put a number in front, what is the slope? It's 1. Okay? So our new slope is going to be the same amount. It's going to be a slope of 1 because it's parallel. So y equals 1x plus b. Now, I know it's going through the point -4, -4. So I'm going to plug in this -4 for the y. I'm going to plug in this -4 for the x. So -4 equals -4 plus b. Okay? Next step, I want to add 4 to both sides to simplify things. So b is equal to 0. So my new equation is going to be y equals, my slope is going to be 1 times x plus 0. Or I could simplify that. 1 times x is just x, plus 0 would just be the x. So y equals x would be our final answer. Okay, now we're getting into some perpendiculars. So we want the negative reciprocal, so they'll be perpendicular. Y equals negative 2 over 1, which is equal to negative 2. I'm sorry, that should have been m. So in plugging into the equation, y equals negative 2x plus b. Now I've got the point negative 3, 1. So I'm going to plug that into our equation. 1 is the y, equals negative 2 times negative 3 plus b. Okay, now, what's negative 2 times negative 3? Devin, what do you think? Plus b. Now we want to subtract 6 from either side. So, 1 minus 6 equals 6 plus b minus 6. So b is equal to negative 5. So our final equation is y equals 1/2 of, what is it? What is our slope? Not 1/2. It's not parallel, it's perpendicular. So negative 2 times x minus 5. Okay. Garrison, what slope's going to be perpendicular to negative 2/5? So I want the negative reciprocal if it's perpendicular. So, Taylor? Positive 5 over 2. Okay, that's our new slope. Now, let's plug that into our y equals mx plus b. So y equals 5 over 2 x plus b. What point are we going through? The point 4, 5. So when y is 5 and x is 4, we want to solve for b. Okay, so that gives us 5 equals 20 divided by 2 plus b, or 5 equals 10 plus b. Subtract 10 from either side. What's b equal to? Tori? Positive or negative? Yeah, negative 5. Okay, so plug that back into the equation. Y equals 5 over 2 times x minus 5. That's our equation. Okay, if two lines are parallel and I've got x equals 0, I want the point through, or the equation through, negative 3, 5. What is the x value? Since this is going to be a vertical line, I want the vertical line going through negative 3, 5. Devin, what would that be? If it's going to be parallel to, it's also got to be vertical, so, Okay, what's the x value over here? So it'd be x equals negative 3. Okay, and then f through negative 4, 4 and perpendicular to 0, x equals 0. Okay, so if it's perpendicular, instead of x equals 0, it's going to have to be y equals, isn't it? Because we want it to have 0 slope instead of no slope. So y equals, and what is the point at negative 4, 4? What is the y value? 4. So sometimes people have trouble seeing these, but if I had the line x equals 0, that would be right here. X equals negative 3 would be right here to be parallel. But if I have x equals 0 as a vertical line again, and I want the line going through the point negative 4, negative 4, negative 4, positive 4, it'd be right there. I want it to be perpendicular, so it's going to go this way to be perpendicular. And so it's got to be a y equals, because we want 0 slope. So y equals 4. Okay.